No, this isn't.
Yep, isn't that just a warehouse?
It's here-ish.
I think it's just a warehouse right
Yeah,
there.
it might be.
So,
yeah.
So, Stefan, how long have we had this?
We put this up right about at the beginning of Lent. So 4 or 5 weeks before Easter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder how many of our people are even aware this is hanging in our building and why it might be hanging here. This is us.
We're right there at the center,
building.
Not because we are the center, but we're actually in the center of this just so that we see what the surrounding area, our community, looks like.
Point of reference.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, point of reference.
I had this whole picture stuck in my head for over a year because I was really interested in the location of our building and how it connected so many different avenues, so many different communities in Burlington.
There's a bigger community out there.
Or the people that have joined with us physically or digitally.
Yeah.
Welcome to the table.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Thanks for joining us. By the way,
this is
Ray. He's in his shorts.
That's
I'm
right.
dressed like this and we're inside because
it is blazing.
It's 1,000 degrees outside. If you've been outside any week in North Carolina, you know it is miserable.
There's a heat dome going on right now.
Not a heat wave.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't either.
We, in the Bible, see a God who continuously through history finds ways to get closer and closer to creation. So starting out with the creation,
God kind of created.
God created everything. And created for the purpose of not being alone and being worshiped, being in community, God's self. God didn't want to be the only non-thing in existence.
And when humankind was walking planet Earth at the very, very beginning, one of the first things that God says, well, not good.
Yeah, well, so when God created Adam,
the
first human, the very first thing that we learn about Adam is it was not good for Adam to be alone.
Yeah, and God said that.
God said that. And then we see throughout the story of the Israelites going through the Old Testament of God continuously getting closer and closer. We see God getting closer and closer through voices of prophets like Abraham and leaders and Moses throughout. And then the minor prophets get even closer, kings get even closer, all the way up until Jesus that gets so physically close that he is a person that walks alongside the disciples and so many others. And then God doesn't stop from there. After Jesus, even the Holy Spirit sets into the hearts of individuals.
So if I follow your line of reasoning, your logic, and your theology there, it seems to me, and I think to you, that from the very beginning, we are created to be in relationship with God and with each other. We're just created. Our DNA is meant to be with one another. Now, indeed, you don't have to be a nutty, crazy person like me that's extroverted and want 1,000 people around you all the time. You can be somebody that just is happy with 1 or 2 people and you're interacting with them. But the point is, as you said so well, is it hurts us. Literally hurts us to be alone.
Yeah, when we're talking about community, I think there's so many ways that we can look at that. We have our family community, we have our friends community. When we're in college, we have a specific community. We have a work community. We have the community that we go engage with. Like, if you're here in Burlington, maybe you go to Fourth Fridays during the summer and you enjoy that community of food trucks and games and fun. Or
maybe you're in a bridge club or a dinner club, whatever.
Absolutely. We've got all of these different life communities, and they all give us something different and unique. All of us, I've said this before, we are beings of 4 different ways. We are physical beings, we are emotional, we are intellectual beings, and we are also spiritual beings. And we do a lot of things in our regular life to help with those first 3. Or for physical, we exercise. For emotional, we go to therapy, or we talk to somebody, we talk to friends about our problems. Intellectual, we learn, or we grow, or we unlearn things. Spiritual is the one that many of us neglect.
I would dare say the whole culture as a whole neglect.
And don't really know necessarily, if it's not active neglect, it's don't really know how to help.
How to support
begin
that journey.
Correct, yeah. So that's where church community comes in.
Because it can help you on that journey, quite literally.
I mean, I would say it is the place to have that journey is in a church community. It's that, we talk about it's important to read your Bible and to pray and to have those individual practices of faith development and growth in your relationship with God. But doing that as a community is a necessity. Doing that within a church body, doing that within a religious body is absolutely necessity.
It's essential. If you really, I mean, I would go on a limb, but I don't want to go on a limb because I think it's been proven. If you surround yourself in a faith community and you're part of a faith community, we know mentally, physically, every part about your life is better.
Yeah.
I mean, researchers have done all this stuff. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
So it's vacation time.
Okay. Yeah, it is in the summer.
Yep, summertime. Some of you aren't here in church because you're at the beach in the mountains or in Bermuda or wherever. And I don't appreciate knowing that, but I know that's where you are. So,
You know
and
what?
good on you.
We should send them a postcard.
Yeah, we should.
Or better yet,
Yeah,
you should send us a postcard.
Yeah, that says, you remember the old-timey postcards that you could buy? And like if I'm in Bermuda, they'd have a little card that says, wish you were here, and it has a, you know, a beach scene in Bermuda.
Weather is beautiful.
Yeah, that's right.
Here.
That's right. And then you get it in the mail, maybe your grandparents or aunt or uncle.
Yeah.
And what do they mean by that? Wish you were here.
Yeah, have you actually thought about that?
I mean, I'm wondering. I think when I was a kid, I didn't think much of it. Oh, well, that's cool. But now, then I think, well, are they just gigging me? I'm here and you're not.
Yeah, that's right. Could be.
We're here.
Place.
You're not here, but I am. But hopefully, I think it's a real honest, kind of bumper sticker, poster card, felt statement.
Yeah.
I wish you were here.
What would happen? Just follow through with that for a second. If you're in France and visiting the Eiffel Tower, and you send a postcard, Eiffel Tower, wish you were here, and you send it off to someone that you love. Yeah. You sent that with the intent of, I actually wish you were here.
Yeah, I literally wish you were.
What would it be like if they were?
Oh, it'd be 10 times better. I'll give you, I mean, it really just would, because they would be part of us. We've been waiting for about a month to see our oldest son. What we've kind of done now, more often than not as of late, for birthdays, our boys are both grown and out. We want to, they've discovered we would rather be together and do something than get something or any of that sort of stuff. So our oldest son, his birthday is in August. So we said, hey, what you want to do? And he and his significant other, Rhiannon, we really thought that they would probably say, well, let's go to Universal, because he's a real Harry Potter fan. If you don't know, the park has a whole new area and everything. That's like a lot of fun. Yeah. So we're texting back and forth. And then he calls his mom. Evan calls his mom. He called me. I didn't answer. He called her. And he said, Mom, what I really want to do? So what? I really just want to go to Wilmington. Rhiannon's never been to Wilmington. We used to live there.
No Harry Potter in Wilmington.
No Harry Potter in Wilmington. He said, I just want to chill and be with y'all. Done. I mean, you talking about I got on that so fast, I didn't he couldn't change his mind, because by the time I got back with him, the house was already rented. Right. I already got all this done. I already had their plane tickets. Yeah. I mean, it's happening. Yeah. Because wish you were here. Yeah. They're going to be here. And then our other son and his wife will be there. And so it really becomes a real thing, you know? It just does. It's emotional. It's powerful. When you're a kid, I mean, those of us who have kids and they're old enough where they're doing their own thing, for them to say, not only I wish you were here, but hey, I would rather be with y'all. Yeah. I mean, that is massive. You just got back from a trip with your significant bride and also saw your parents. I mean, it's just better when you can be with those you love. It just is. It doesn't get any better than that in my world, at least what I think.
In fact, I imagine for a lot of people, the stories of shared experiences with family, with loved ones, with great, great friends that you just adore, some of those memories are probably better had with them in boring places than without them in the most beautiful places.
The guy behind the camera, he has 4 kids. One of them's a little guy who's 7 now, right? Am I right? Yep. 8. Oh my gosh, lost a year. And then he has one that's just graduated from high school. Then he has 2 in college. Well, one of the boys that's in college and the one that just graduated, They and their two cousins from Illinois
Yeah.
who are around their age. These are all college, high school buddies,
Yeah.
kids, cousins, first cousins. Their parents have allowed them to go on this hike near Aspen, Colorado, and the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
And those four boys are by themselves. Now, James is the second oldest one. He's the third oldest in the line of Jay's kids. But they went on this peak out in the Rockies, and he texted his dad, told his dad where they were, what they were doing, and told his dad, "I wish you were here."
Yeah.
But then the next line, I may not get it exactly right, but it's an emotional one. He said, "But Jesus is here. I felt it."
Yeah.
Wow. But he's there with three cousins,
Yeah.
which kind of means I'm here with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm experiencing this unbelievable natural wonder that God has created, and I get to enjoy it with three of my family members. I wish you were here.
Yeah. I'm petitioning that if the church family got together, as the church community got together to do things, when the church community gets together to do things, that it's so much greater in impact.
And always good.
And always good.
Yeah.
My example is I have some very dear friends at the local church in Pittsburgh. That's a church plant. They've been around for about 7 or 8 years.
What's the name of it again?
The local church.
The local church.
The
That's
local
the name.
church. Yeah.
He wasn't describing a play. He was describing a people called the local church.
Brent Levy is the pastor out there. He is a good friend of mine, and they do some amazing things. One of my favorite ones is this past October in 2024. They got together for a community meal, and it was a fundraiser and also a chance to get together. They had a stretch of just like 6-foot tables, but a bunch of them. They had over 300 people there at this meal. It was a fundraiser, so they raised around $8,000 for loving and serving their community. And you just look at that picture and that short little clip, it looks like so much fun.
Yeah, as I was looking at it, I said, I'm kind of ill that I wasn't invited. I didn't get to go to that. I'd have loved to have been part of that. I mean,
so freaking
really wonderful.
Cool. So I brag on them, but I just use that as an example that when the church community gets together in all sorts of capacities, not just at a really long dinner table, but also in handing out food at Freshman Market, in a Vacation Bible School, which is in a couple of weeks. When the church gets together as a community, great and wonderful and amazing, God-loving, community-serving, life-changing things happen.
Because it seems that it's always better together. Mm-hmm. Always.
You know what would be so fun? If we got together for a church potluck like that and took a big photo and then sent all those other people who weren't here a postcard.
Yeah, wish you were here.
Wish you were here.
Well, indeed. You know what? We really wish you were here. We hope to see you. If you're in the Burlington area, see you on Sundays. We'd love to have you. But all our church family, you're loved. It's always better when we're with you. Blessings. We'll see you next week.
Love is the answer, at least, for most of the questions in my heart. Why are we here and where do we go and how come it's so hard? It's not always easy and sometimes life can be deceiving. I'll tell you one thing, it's always better when we're together. It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars and we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together. just might find their way into my dreams tonight. But I know that they'll be gone when the morning light sings or brings new things. For tomorrow night you see that they'll be gone too. Too many things I have to do. But if all of these dreams might find their way into my day-to-day scene.